Hello, Nick.
Hello, Rupert. Lovely to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you, Nick. Where are you calling from?
I'm actually in southern Italy. I'm with my family here, so
Lovely.
if you hear
Okay.
some bells during my question, they're going off.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm a photographer, and that was a lovely answer to Mukti's question about expression and taking people back to their
Yes,
being.
photography is a beautiful pathway. Yes.
And I hope maybe your answer to my question might also involve expression, but how to do it. So if we understand that the nature of reality is an infinite whole made up of consciousness and love, and we consider the situation of climate change, where we can quantitatively describe environmental parameters using limited tools and clumsy language, how can we define our relationship with the environment within the non-dual approach? And how can it be feasible for mankind as a whole to have a sustainable relationship with our environment?
The most important thing, Nick, is this is really the essence of the non-dual understanding, namely the principle of oneness, non-duality, the fact that behind the apparent multiplicity of people, animals, objects, things, nature, that there is, as you rightly say, a single, infinite, indivisible whole, whose nature, whatever it is our nature, is what we are, consciousness, spirit, love, however you. And that single principle should be the guiding principle of our lives. We should allow that principle to inform the way we think and feel, and the way we act, perceive, and relate. And so, for instance, to take that suggestion to politics, for instance, if one politician, that understanding would guide the way you think about issues such as climate change, poverty, healthcare, education, and so on. And what one would use, as you say, one's limited tools and limited resources to implement this understanding to the best of one's ability in one's society, depending on what influence one has. Some people's sphere of influence is small. Some people have a very large sphere of influence. That's not really important. What matters is what is it that informs our behavior? Is it the principle of unity, or is it founded on a model of separation? Politicians, strangely, all sorts of people come to my meetings. I mean, all sorts of, when I say all kinds of people, I mean in this context, people from all kinds of professions come to my meetings. Doctors, lawyers, artists, all sorts of different people, but very rarely a politician. Now, somebody might jump up on this meeting. Maybe there are politicians here. I don't know, but at least to my knowledge, it has happened a couple of times, but it's not very. For instance, lots of therapists, for obvious reasons, lots of therapists are interested in these matters because they're interested in the mind, in feelings, in what we are, and so it makes complete sense that a lot of people interested in psychology and psychiatry and so on attend such meetings. But why not politics? That the principle of oneness, the unity of being, should be the idea upon which all politics are based. It should be the foundation of politics. Politics should be the means by which this understanding is implemented in society. And climate change would be one aspect of that implementation.
So you're really saying that in order to make a profound difference to a global problem, we need a lot of influential people who can become teachers, maybe to the politicians or the politicians themselves?
I think if you think of what our actions as an individual, our actions as an individual are motivated by our deep feelings and beliefs. So or our deep understanding informs, first of all, our thoughts and our feelings, and subsequently our actions and relationships. So just changing external behavior, whilst I'm not suggesting that it doesn't have its place, but just changing the behavior of people is not enough to address the climate change issue. Something more fundamental has to be addressed, namely the deep understanding which informs our behavior. And I don't think, look at the conflicts in the world. You know, didn't we all think after the wars of the last century that it would just be impossible for humanity to act like this again? Look what's happening in the world today. It's happening again. It beggars belief. Why didn't the wars of the last century put an end to this behavior? It's because we learned from them, yes, but we didn't learn the fundamental issue. We didn't realize the unity of being. Conflicts that are going on in the world today would be impossible if those who perpetrate these conflicts knew that they shared their being with those that they are fighting against. So that's why in this approach, we just stay with the very deep issue of what we essentially are, what a reality essentially is. We don't go too far into the details of climate change or education or politics, or we just deal with the root, because it's the root that's important. And it's for everyone who attends these meetings to then take this understanding, as I know many people do, to take this understanding out into their lives and implement it in whatever field they work in.
Yes, I agree completely there. And you mentioned shared being, which I also take as a definition of the word love and
Absolutely
kindness,
right. Yes.
and peace.
Yes.
And my introduction into this path was through a group of like-minded friends, and the ripple effects from that group, appreciating the essence of their true nature, and those ripples affecting people around them to consume less, to appreciate nature or appreciate art, brings them back to a sense of happiness that is opposite to that which is acquired through objects and, as you say, experiences. And so really, I get your message there, that we all have to spread the message and in ways that we can identify that people around us will latch onto.
Yes, and when you say spread the message, what I'm doing is just one way that can be done. There are all sorts of ways, as the previous conversation with Mukti. It doesn't have to be done in words. It can be done in dance, in photography, in your case, in painting, in poetry, and it can be done in so many ways. It can just be done in regular family life without giving it a particular label. There are so many ways that this understanding can be communicated in a non-verbal way as well as in a verbal way. Is that one of your photographs behind you?
It certainly is. It's from my home in South Wales. And in fact, yesterday I was talking to a friend who says, I can't meditate, I don't meditate, my mind's too busy. But then she told me that she finds total happiness and inner peace with trees. And I said, well, that's all you have to do, is
that's the meditation.
Find more of that.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Very nice to meet you, Nick.
Thank you, Rupert.